This guy's name is Mike Goldberg. Okay, Mike, Mike, Gold, Goldberg, Berg. Not the wrestler, Goldberg. This is Mike Goldberg. You can put Mike Goldberg MMA, mixed martial arts. Now, why am I going to speak about him? This guy's story is even more shocking. I'll give you a brief summary. You know MMA. Sorry, mixed martial arts. And the king of mixed martial arts is UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. Okay. It's like if you say Wimbledon, it's tennis. If you say golf, Masters Championship or whatever. If you say, so certain terms like boxing, if you say Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali, it's very synonymous. So when you say UFC, it is very synonymous with mixed martial arts. Now, Mike Goldberg started with Joe Rogan. You might know who's Joe Rogan, famous podcaster, comedian. And he and Mike Goldberg joined the UFC when UFC was hemorrhaging cash, when UFC was in a loss, when UFC mixed martial arts was banned in many countries. Okay. There was no hope. There was no future for mixed martial arts. It was considered an underground sport. So these guys joined UFC when it was a nothing. It was like a sport that it was more like an insult. There were even senators, very famous senators, who boycotted this and called it a human cockfighting, or it was more like gay lovers hugging each other wearing their underwear. That is how they described mixed martial arts those days. So what happened was Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan joined the UFC when UFC was just starting, just zero. Okay. And they joined the sport because they loved the sport. They believed in the sport. Joe Rogan was even ready to work for free. Mike Goldberg was even ready to work for free. Both of them were ready to work for free, giving their time, their expertise, their commentary, their creativity, everything for the UFC for free. And later on, when they started to make a little bit of money, they started to pay them. The reason why they would work for free is because they were fans of the sport, and they were like in Joe Rogan's words, it's like, you're going to pay me to sit at the most important seats in the house, like the VVIP, where I can see the fights, I can call the fights, I can share my enthusiasm, I can talk to the audience, and I can have a great time. And you want me to do this job? This is not a job. I'll do it for free, and you give me free tickets. So for them, the free ticket was worth it. So Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan worked for the UFC, and they developed a great friendship. It was like yin and yang. They are two commentators who really complemented each other. Joe Rogan was more on the technical side. He understood because he was a mixed martial artist. So he would tell you, okay, he's moving his left hand to the right side of his face, and if he twists a little bit more, he will get the submission. So he used to explain to people, especially people like me and others who didn't understand what was happening, but we wanted to understand. So he would educate us like a teacher, and Mike Goldberg would give the historical facts. He would give the background. He would tell you, because he would do his homework. He would speak to the guy, ask him his dreams, ambitions, aspirations. And when they are fighting, he would say, this guy who's fighting, he has a family back home. He has 2 kids. He's doing it to support his family. Oh, now look at the way he's, hitting him. He's moving his elbow to the side. So he creates a lot of excitement. And me, as a viewer, I loved his commentary. I found it exciting. I found it fun. Okay. And guess what? He dedicated 20 years of his life from 1997 to 2017. He dedicated to UFC. Now, you must be wondering what happened in 2017. This is where the shock takes place. UFC finally sold, the owners who had purchased UFC decided to sell the UFC, and they gave it Endeavor. It is another company. It purchased it. Endeavor owns Endeavor or TKMC. Sorry, I can't get the exact name. But they are the owners of WWE and they are the owners of UFC. They purchased both the companies. Okay. in a $1 billion deal. And where UFC was purchased for 10 million, but they spent a lot of money in the losses and lawsuits and all the problems. They purchased it for 30 million and 3 million or 30 million, I'm not too sure. But they sold it. They sold it for $3 to $4 billion. Okay, that much money. But here's where the shocker comes. After they purchased it, to everyone's shock and surprise, even I was shocked, they terminated Mike Goldberg. They terminated this guy. But it was not the termination that was only the shocker. The shocker was the way they terminated him. Imagine you are the face of the company. Imagine that every announcement, every commentary, every time they show the UFC, you see this guy standing with a suit and with the microphone, and he's introducing you, welcoming you, explaining the fights and talking about the fights. This guy who was the face of the UFC got terminated, and they did it without informing anyone, without giving him a farewell, without acknowledging his contribution. They just did it as, like, imagine one day he's there, he's calling the fight. Next week, he's no longer shown and somebody else is there. And people are wondering, where's this guy? Where did he go? And to this date, nobody knows why he got terminated, why there was no farewell, why there was no tribute, why there was no recognition. Nobody talks about it. Okay, there are conspiracy theories that maybe he did something wrong and all that, but nobody has come forward and said anything bad about him. In fact, everyone only speaks good. But here's the saddest part. The owner of the main guy, Dana White of UFC, when asked why did Mike Goldberg get terminated, he said, I don't know, things didn't work out. And his most infamous statement, he's not my friend. So here, in summary, now I've given you Kevin Iole and I've given you Mike Goldberg. What do you think are the lessons you have learned from this? Okay, what do you think are the lessons? Comment down below and let me know. But I'll give you some of the key points. What I learn from other people's lives, other people's mistakes, other people's successes. What I realized is, if you give your heart, your soul, your complete identity, your creativity to somebody else, to someone else's brand, to someone else's company, even if you're the face of the company, it doesn't matter. Because one day when you're terminated, all your effort, all your creativity, all your contribution, everything that you did is no longer in your hands. It goes to them. See, every article Kevin Iole wrote for Yahoo Sports belongs to Yahoo. Every interview he went for, that he represented Yahoo Sports, belongs to them. Every fan, every follower, every admirer of his interview styles all go to Yahoo. He owns nothing. In fact, Cesar Millan, Google search Cesar Millan, who's known as the dog whisperer, his own name, Cesar Millan, is the name of this guy who's a dog whisperer. He's very famous, he's very viral. I don't know whether it's Columbia or Sony Pictures or whatever. This American company, they trademarked his name, and he was not able to capitalize on his own name, get followers, sell products, sell merchandise, sell clothes, sell books. In his own name, he could not do that because they owed everything. They made him sign the document that everything belongs to them. Just imagine how terrible that is. It's like me saying, my name is Loy Machedo and I'm working for this company. And tomorrow when I resign from them, I come to know I cannot use Loy Machedo. I can't create a channel with Loy Machedo. I can't write an article with Loy Machedo. I can't sell merchandise with Loy Machedo. I can't even go give a seminar as Loy Machedo. Can you imagine the death sentence that there is? And even Mike Goldberg got offers from WWE, which is wrestling, to dump the UFC. He got offers from competitors. He refused because he was loyal to them. The mistake that he did is, you should be loyal to yourself. You should be loyal to your brand. You should be loyal to your effort, your time. And that is what I tell everyone. See, you put your time, effort, and money to contribute to a company that helps sharpen your skills. Like Stephen Covey says, sharpen your saw. But the day, these companies, these corporates, which are run by human beings, the day a new management comes or the day the management changes, they will not give a damn what you have done 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. They will not care. They'll say, we have come in new. You start from zero. You start from scratch and prove it to me. Otherwise, you can leave. Bye bye. And if you tell them I gave you 20 years of my life, they will respond to you on the face and say, you didn't work for free. For the 20 years that you gave us, we paid you salary for 20 years. And if you say, but I worked extra hours, I worked double shifts, their answer will be, which I know because it was not only told to my stepfather, it was told to so many people who come to me for, whether coaching or mentoring or rebranding. They tell them, who asked you to work 20 hours? Who asked you to work double shifts? If you are effective, you would work within the 8 hours and go back home. Either way, you get jacked. And I'll tell you, it is the most hurtful thing to lose your job and to go with a begging bowl. Hi, this is my CV. This is my contribution. Please give me a job. And that too, you'll be doing it with someone who is younger than you, less experienced than you, and maybe a dumb fuck, whom you would not even give maybe a few seconds of your time. You have to literally convince that guy to employ you. It's like that Shawshank Redemption when Morgan Freeman keeps going to convince the board that he is innocent. And finally, they show it after every 10 years or 20 years. Finally, he is now 40 years in prison. He's become an old man and he gets this young man who says, have you become a better person? Have you reformed? He was like, he just cares a damn. He's like, listen, Sonny, okay, I don't give a damn whether I'm reformed or whatever. But, if I would meet my younger self, I would tell him, don't do this stupid thing. And then he tells this guy, this youngster who's the who's the main guy who will decide whether he is approved or rejected. And so, Sonny, listen, you just put your stamp, say it's rejected, I'll go back to my prison. Because, he has seen life, he doesn't give a damn. So all I'm telling you is, be loyal, be dedicated, be focused on you, your brand, and selling yourself. Don't be loyal to the company, be more loyal to yourself. And end of the day, remember, there will come a day where they will kick you out of the organization, whether it's a restructure, new management, or whatever. And then when you are without a job and you're, helpless outside, don't blame anyone because it'll all come on your shoulders. Kevin Aioli and Mike Goldberg give their lives for their company, for the sport, for the industry. But in the end, they were just thrown out. Just put a chewing gum in your mouth and spit it out after the flavor is gone. So anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Love to hear from you. This is me signing off. You guys take care.